Hello, everybody. JD here with your Rational Trader Market Analysis Daily. In today's video, well, the numbers are in on our cash machine mean reversion trade of the week. Constellation Brands reported earnings after the market closed, and the numbers were a big whole bunch of nothing. The stock, in fact, fascinating trade here. When you look at the chart here on Constellation Brands, you see that we closed right exactly on top of the mean for this one. So what a great example of this concept of mean reversion and exploiting the premiums that are crazy high in front of an event that market participants expect to move the market. Now you can see after the earnings were released, Constellation Brands shares are trading. I've been watching it since the numbers have come out. It's been anywhere from 0.75% down, well, maybe 1% down to literally the flat line. So, slight bias to the downside. Recommended puts to write on this were 7.5% below the closing price. Okay. So, we are well in the ringing the cash register machine range on this trade, at least in the after hours market. And if all goes according to plan, the 155 strike, which is $10 less than where the stock trades in after hours, will expire worthless on Thursday. On the other side of the trade, because we closed right at the mean, the door was open to write calls and puts on this one. The 180 calls are also 7.5% above the price, above the mean, and above the price where shares closed in regular trading. Now we're even further away from that with the slight $1.25 drop or 0.75% drop as I record this. So again, just a fantastic example of the strength and magnetism of the mean and how inflated option prices can be exploited into your own personal ATM machine. Now, this go around, I made the recommendation because for risk management, a less aggressive trade, doing an actual credit spread so that you're protected on the downside and you have a known defined risk on this trade. I'm not sure I would have done that because if you look at this table on the call side of the equation, in the last 20 earnings reports events, the one day after, not one time did we hit 7.5% to the upside. The closest we got was on July 1st of 2020, a long time ago, a 6% gain after Constellation reported earnings. So again, that cushion that we have built into this trade really works wonders for the effectiveness and the ability to put cash in your pockets. It really, I couldn't be more thrilled with how this is working out. Now, on the put side, there was one significant outlier, and if I was a stats person, I would actually throw out this data point, down 17% on January 2025. Aside from that, that's 1 out of 20 times did you have a move. Actually, I should say there were two. January of 2023, we were down 9%. So a little more risk to the downside, but still, again, the odds are in your favor. And if you look at the median on the positive side, you're only looking at a 1.8% move to the upside, and a median on the downside is minus 3%. We're writing puts and calls 7.5% higher, 7.5% lower. Bang, ring the cash register, go to that ATM, type in your own personal passcode, and put that money in your account because that's what's going to happen on Constellation Brands. And I might add one refresher reminder of why this works so, to me, so beautifully is that the two standard deviation bands above the mean, above and below, what that is telling you is that 95% of the time, a stock is going to be trading inside of this band here, above the mean and below the mean. Where are the strike prices on the calls and the puts that we're writing in advance of this earnings report? Above two standard deviations above the mean and below two standard deviations below the mean. Again, this isn't foolproof. It isn't completely risk free. Nothing is, right? And I am not suggesting anything of the sort. But if you're a poker player out there and you understand pot odds, I I I bet you're tracking with me on this. And when earnings season begins in full swing in the middle of July, my God, the money-making opportunities are going to be outrageous. That's all I have for today's video. This is JD for The Rational Trader. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.